Yeah, I watched him work a couple of times. Right. Cigarette, cigarettes all the time, and like modeling. He had a studio on East 4th Street, and she had a studio above. She was a pianist. She tuned pianos. Whatever you call it, reconstructed pianos. So she had this enormous studio with like 3 grand pianos in various shapes. And then Jonathan had, he had 100 statues all over the place in marble and dust and books and papers and stuff. And the cats, they were the cats. So it was fun to go up there. It was a real, alive place. God, he died so young. I really miss him. Michael and Jonathan were very, very close. So we spent a couple of dinners with Jonathan and Barbara, and they were such good company. Jonathan could talk on any subject. He was amazing. I was reading a Zola book, and all of a sudden he talked about Zola like oh my God. He was wonderful. He really was, and fun, really fun.
I heard he really hated nature.
Right. He was a true New Yorker. He hated nature. He hated to being outside. We spent a weekend on Cape Cod together, and he wouldn't get out of bed. He was intimidated by nature, I think. When he got sick, Nancy Freed, another as an American sculptor, she and I went to clean up the apartment and to make food, and it was hilarious. He sat there like a pasha. Could you do this? Could you do that? So it wasn't sad. It was fun. We met in the Bois de Boulogne at a softball game, which is hilarious because I was playing, and I'm a terrible athlete, and Michael's a real jock. So I was playing because I lived there for 10 years before I met him. And then, I was married to someone else, and it was ending. It was clearly ending, and we hadn't spoken to each other for like 3 days. And we were sitting in the cafe after the ball game, and it was a pickup game for expats. After the ball game, we were sitting in a little cafe having paniche, which is half beer, half lemonade. And my husband and I hadn't talked for days, and all of a sudden he put his arm around me, and I noticed there's this really good-looking guy across from me that's staring at me, and that's Michael. And so now we've been together 41 years, so that's an old story. When I went to Paris, I was a dancer. I danced on French. I had been a soloist at the Boston Ballet, Metropolitan Opera for many years, which I loved doing. But then I finished my career on French TV. And French television, it was state-sponsored, so you always got paid. I was in a show in Paris. You rehearsed for 6 weeks. You didn't get paid for rehearsals. It closed the first night. I think they paid for my dinner. That was it. So I said, I need to do French television. But it was really good because it was state-sponsored. They had really good ballets, really good operas, really good programs. And then on Saturday night, they had this really trashy variety show. And of course, when the budget went down the drain, you know what they kept and you know what they left. So I finished my career dancing in short skirts to playback, Frenchman playback. It was fun. Michael was writing for he was writing for Art News, Art in America, and he also taught at the American School of Paris. He taught English at the high school students, and he still keeps up with his students, and some of his students have become amazingly successful.